Ah, Dredge Day. It's been many years since I walked these corridors. God, that music is great. I think it's probably my favorite in all of KotOR. So atmospheric. Well, we've got a fairly big hangar, and I think I better start heading around. What's this?
Excuse me, have you seen a mechanic about? Short fellow, bald. I've been looking.
I think we just saw him.
I'll be a Wookiee's uncle. Davin Cotrus.
Jolie? Jolie Pinto? Why, you old freak. Last time I saw you, you were still wandering the galaxy in that old tug. I thought you were dead, old man.
I crashed somewhere and decided to stay.
Yeah, I'll just bet. Damn, old man, you look exactly the same as the last time I saw you. You pickle well.
You're too kind. Not the young lad anymore yourself, I see.
Come on, Grandpa, we got shopping to do. But, care to introduce your friend, Jolie?
What are you, deaf? His name's Davin. Old friend from my wanderer days. By the by, Davin, I really should be running off.
Of course, old man. Oh, wait. If you've been traveling in this sector, I suppose you heard about Sunry?
No, why? What's there to hear?
He's been picked up by the Selkath authorities on Manan for murder.
That's preposterous.
I know. Laura is beside herself, as you can imagine. Maybe you could help them. I'm sure Sunray would appreciate a Jedi's assistance right about now.
Perhaps I will at that. It's up to my friend here, actually. I'm just tagging along.
We'll check into it when we're next on Manon.
I'd appreciate that. Sunry's an old friend. I'd hate to see him hurt.
Same here. Well, it was good to see you again. Give my regards to Alora if you see her.
I will. Be safe, old friend.
Well, that was interesting. Get the music back. We have a little talk with Jolie about that.
Got something on your mind, dude?
Tell me about Sunry. How did you know him?
What? You think because I'm a hermit, I've always been a hermit? Just because I haven't seen Sunry for 20 years doesn't mean he's not a friend. A man could have changed a lot in that span of time, though. To become a murderer, I can't see it. That's not the Sunry I know. He was a good man. Put me up in his home for a year back after I left the Order. War hero, too. Or so I hear. I wouldn't mind helping the fellow if we can. I owe it to him. Or you can be a young monkey lizard and ignore me, I guess. But I don't expect much these days.
No, we'll go there. Promise, just as soon as we're done with Korriban, we'll head straight for Manon. Sort this thing out. I'm sure it's all a big misunderstanding. But Jolie...
Got something on your mind, dude?
You never did actually say why you decided to come with me.
No, I never did I?
Are you always going to be this elusive?
Elusive? Me elusive? Obviously, you've never tried to grab a Twi'lek dancing girl after drinking too much Onderan Willick juice.
A man after my own
At any
heart.
rate, I already told you why I wanted to leave. I'd seen everything I wanted to on Kashyyyk. Time to go. Time to move on.
Move on to where?
To bed. I'm old and tired, you know.
No, really.
How many kilometer-high trees can you find an interest in before you figure you've had enough? I'd bet you can't be bothered to stay in one room for more than 15 minutes. And then there's all the critters in the Shadowlands. I'm just happy to be back in space, doing something new. Is that too much to ask?
You could do that on your own, you know.
So I could. But not having a ship does tend to put a damper on that kind of idea, however. I'll admit, for all its flaws, Kashyyyk was home enough. But when you came along and I saw the destiny you had before you, I couldn't help but be intrigued.
You know what my destiny is?
Of course not. Weren't you listening last time? I can see that you have a destiny before you, but the details are far from clear. In fact, everything about you that I can see is odd. Slightly off, as if my eyes are trying to trick me. Something is very dark about you. But, I'm sure you don't need to hear my ruminations. You've probably got enough nosy Jedi offering you one opinion after another to make you sick.
No. Tell me more of what you see.
Your future will come of its own accord, trust me. Sometimes navel-gazing at it doesn't get you anywhere. I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. You remind me a bit of Nomi. That can't be all bad.
Nomi? Well, who's Nomi?
Nomi Sunrider. She came late to the Force, just as you have, and became one of the greatest Jedi ever. Oh, fine lass. Whether you'll follow the same path remains to be seen. For one thing, we'll never get anywhere if you stand around chatting up old men all day.
So, you're along as some kind of observer.
Nonsense. If I ever refused to help you when you asked, how confused can one person be anyway? One thing I will say is that this little escapade does remind me a bit of my adventuring days before the war. Those were exciting times. Or at least it would remind me of those times if we didn't stand around. What's keeping you? Too young to be so talkative. Shoo! Shoo!
Alright, old man, keep your secrets. Jolie Bindo. You prodded Jolie in an effort to find out why he decided to come with you. In the end, he did mention his adventuring days. Perhaps you could ask him about them later, once you gain more experience. Perhaps we will do that. For now, we have a hangar to explore. Make sure there's no, no chests that we can open. Speak like it's a medieval RPG. Oh, let's pick the lock on the treasure chest, but I don't really know what else to call them. A lot of terminals here. And there's that mechanic we had just heard so much about. Let's get the music back and have a chat with him.
Nice to see the Hawk still in one piece. Beauty of a ship, that.
Ah, fellow Irishman. Who are you, then?
Oh, nobody special. I just do the routine maintenance work for the ships that come in. I used to see the Hawk here all the time.
How do you know about the Ebon Hawk?
Ah, I've seen this little ship before plenty of times. Used to make runs for the exchange, didn't it? Korriban's nice and remote. The kind of place the exchange likes. You don't need to worry about me saying anything. I don't give a whit what you do with your ship. Smuggling's what the Hawk was made for, though.
Well, could I ask you some questions, then? Are you busy?
You sure can.
What can you tell me about Korriban?
Not much. It's a pretty barren planet, to tell the truth. Not of much interest to anyone. Unless you're a Sith, I guess. They seem to think this place is something special.
Why do the Sith think Korriban is special?
Probably all them ruins they found on the surface. That's the reason they built their academy here, I guess. To dig all them ruins up.
There's a Sith Academy here?
There's people that come here from all over Sith space to try and join the academy. Most of them die, I hear. Pretty gruesome business, that.
Well, I guess he's kind of playing dumb. He knows the answers to most of these questions, but he's seeing what kind of information he can glean just by asking them. Sometimes people reveal useful tidbits that they wouldn't otherwise do if they thought it was someone who was knowledgeable about the topics already. Might just divulge a little more than they intended to. How does someone get into the ruins?
You don't. Not unless you're a Sith in the academy. They're the only ones allowed on the surface. They pay Zerka to ship things in and out, I guess, but that's all closely monitored.
Have you ever heard of a star map?
A star map? You mean like a navigation chart?
Yes, but much older. Perhaps in the ruins.
If them Sith found a star map in those ruins, nobody's ever mentioned it.
Interesting. Thanks. I'll be going now.
Yep, take care now.
Journal entry added. Star map Korriban. It seems that only the Sith of the local monastery have access to the ruins on the surface. If you're going to reach them and search for the star map, it will have to be through the monastery. Well, let's head for the door here. Ah, I see. Another Jedi comes from Korriban. Yes. Good to meet you. You're wrong. I am no Jedi. I assumed you were perhaps a Jedi from the lightsaber you were carrying. My mistake. There are many people who come to Korriban from throughout Sith space hoping to join the Academy. Some of them are Jedi who have left the Order. You will get into the Academy for certain. I understand Jedi who have left the light side are made very welcome. He's not buying Telemachus' front, but he's going to continue with it anyway. So I imagine. But enough about that. It's very nice to see that the Ebon Hawk has returned. I have not seen that ship for some time indeed. Since you're a regular to our little colony, the docking fee is only 25 credits. You know of the Ebon Hawk. But of course, there was a time when that ship used to dock here on a weekly basis. It's changed hands then, has it? Oh well, that happens. That's not really necessary, is it? I suppose there's no need to charge the owner of the Ebon Hawk any fee, really. I'll open the door for you. Excellent. Might I ask you some questions about Korriban? What information do you wish? Tell me about this planet. Well, this is Dresde. It's the only colony on the planet. Korriban is a Sith world, well within their space, though it's not very well inhabited. The Sith allows Zerka to conduct some mining here, and the company operates the starport. But otherwise, the colony revolves around the local Sith Academy. Tell me about Zerka's operations here. Zerka is one of the largest corporations in the core. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. They have interests in mining all over this sector. Korriban is actually the location of Zerka's headquarters for this sector. Most business here in the colony is conducted here.
Kankidorati kun watati manaizabola.
What can you tell me about the Sith Academy?
Unless you're one
of the hopefuls who is trying to become a student there, I suggest you avoid it. The Sith are the law here, and they do as they please. It can be quite dangerous. What do you know about the Sith's excavations? The ones on the surface? All I know is that only the Sith students go there. Sorry. Have you ever heard of a star map, by chance? Doesn't your computer handle navigation? Beyond that, I really couldn't say. Interesting. I best be on my way. Enjoy your stay in Dresden. Good. I think I will take an opportunity to drop a quick save here before we head onward. Actually, Sith Guard as
Go
well.
about your business, please, citizen.
Will do. I was about to say, one of the mods I have installed here is reskins these Zerka soldiers from their original state and adds the Zerka uniforms to them. For some reason in the vanilla game, they were all walking around in Sith uniforms, which was very unusual considering they had their own uniforms for Zerka Corp that they used on Tatooine quite a bit, but not here. So that mod actually fixed that little visual problem. That was, I believe, included in the KotOR community patch 1.7. I highly recommend that mod for anyone playing the game for the first time or making a return to it later. I'd never consider playing the game without it. It fixes so many little bugs and inconsistencies like this. Just stuff that modders have spent years going over with a fine-tooth comb that most normal players, people who weren't heavily invested in this game's aesthetic, wouldn't notice. So it does a lot of that stuff that flies under even my radar after so many times through this game. But that's one of the things that I kind of noticed, so I figured I'd point it out. I try and point out the mods as they come, guys. I'm sorry if I don't do a perfect job, but I do my best. Anyway, we should get going and head down the street here. I don't want to linger too long. There seems to be a commotion up ahead, so let's go check out what that's about.
No, that is the wrong answer. Again, you pathetic hopefuls can't possibly all be this stupid, can you?
Please, Master Chardin, give us a chance. We'll do anything to get into the academy.
I'm no master, yet, but I like the sound of that. Alright, one more question. A lot of you is trying my patience. Alright, let's say you become a Sith and I am your commanding officer. I give you an order to spare the life of an enemy. Do you do it?
Of course, Chardin. Anything you command us.
We would never oppose you.
No. Oh, do you honestly believe that the Sith are in need of such sniveling cowards? Mercy is a weakness. If your leader shows weakness, it is your duty to kill him and show true authority, true power. That is why the Sith are strong.
Thank you, Chardin. We understand now.
No, you don't understand, and you probably never will. You wouldn't survive 5 seconds in the academy. The other students would tear you apart. Bah! I can't be bothered with fools. Perhaps I should, You, Jedi, you're looking to get into the academy, are you not? Well, of course you are. Why else would you be here? Let me pose a question to you. These hopefuls will never survive in the academy. A lesson must be taught here, but I am at a loss as to what form it should take.
Well, if you can't think of anything cruel, you really shouldn't be out here, young man, should you?
I wasn't talking to you. I'm thinking to spare them the effort of being killed and do it myself. Perhaps I shall turn their skin inside out. Or force lightning. Yes, it's a most impressive display. Well, perhaps a bit of humiliation is in order. I could easily strip off their tunics and make them run through the colony. Or they could lose all control of their bodily functions. What do you think? I just can't seem to decide.
Why are you asking me?
Please, tell him to let us go, I beg you.
Silence. Why not ask you? I'm rather exhausted from dealing with hopefuls like these. I can barely think straight. Besides, I find it fun. Come now, a decision, please.
They're nothing to me. Kill them. I don't care.
What? Why didn't you try to help them?
My thoughts exactly. How lovely to encounter someone with such an agreeable disposition.
There's nothing I could have done. He'd have killed them no matter what I'd said, and we can't afford to make enemies so soon. Not here. Not with you. That's gonna shake Bastila up quite a bit, and Telemachus is a little rattled by it. Certainly took no pleasure in what had to be done, but he couldn't risk Bastila's safety. Not so soon that they've landed on Korriban. The Republic war effort depends on her, but he does regret it. Apathy is death.
Jolie, may I have a moment? There's something I wish to speak to you about.
Yep, I figured it was only a matter of time until we had the whole come back to the order discussion. Well, I guess there's no avoiding it now, so let's get it over with.
I know you have issues with the Order, but you are a Jedi, Jolie. You command the Force. Without the guidance of the Council, how can you avoid falling to the dark side?
Well, I've managed to avoid it the last 20 years or so. Besides, light side, dark side, they don't mean the same to me as they do to you. I don't see in absolutes.
Malak and the Sith are evil, Jolie. Surely you can see that.
I want to stop Malak as much as anyone. But I don't have to join the Order to do it. Look at Karth, or Canderous. They're with us in this quest, but they aren't Jedi. The capacity for good or evil, like the Force itself, is in all living creatures. And belonging to the Jedi Order, or the Sith, or any group, won't change what you are at your core.
I see you are quite adamant. No doubt you've had ample time to think on this during your long seclusion. I guess it was foolish of me to think I could sway your position so easily.
Yeah, I'm old and stubborn. But I appreciate the effort. But from now on, you can just think of me as any other non-Jedi in our little group. With a lightsaber. And Force powers.
Right. I think with that, Bastila is going to head back to the ship and think about what's just transpired. She really doesn't like seeing Telemachus make these type of decisions, and it's rattled her a little bit. It also gives us an opportunity on the meta side of things to get some cool conversation between Jolie and Canderous. So I think she'll send Canderous out to us for a time, and we can go have some more encounters. But first, we have a Rhodian behind the desk. Let's see what he has to say. Greetings. Welcome to Korriban. If there's anything you need, you can talk to me. What sort of merchandise do you offer? Weapons, mostly. I've got connections. You'll need them if you're going to be spending any time here. Why so? There are a lot of Sith on this planet. This is where they come to study. Obnoxious brats, the lot of them. Just between you and me, I'll never understand why anyone thinks dark side and hooligan should be the same thing. Well, they are definitely dangerous. So that's why you'll probably need weapons. Not that they'll be much help. Now, what connections do you have? Mandalorian raiders occasionally drop by, needing to get rid of some extras that they can't sell in any of the civilized systems. They treat me well, and I treat them well. It works out. So if you need weapons, and you probably will, this is the place to come. Can I see your merchandise? Certainly. Allow me to punch up the stock. Let's see what our good Rhodian has for sale here. A Krath Warblade. Item cost 130, amount 5. Weapon proficiency, melee weapons, damage physical 2 to 13, critical threat 20 to 20 times 2, and attack modifier +1. Twisted by the dark side, the Krath tempered swords with the power of the Force, perhaps even before lightsabers became the weapon of the Dark Jedi, both light and dark. Next we have a Sith War Sword. Item cost 480, amount of them is 1. Feats required, melee weapons, damage physical 3 to 17, critical threat 20 to 20 times 2, +1 attack modifier. Excuse me, I think I have the hiccups. Whew. Alright. Though most favor lightsabers, some Sith prefer the more visceral feel of metal-cutting flesh. These blades are usually impregnated with rare cortosis to protect against lightsaber sparring damage. Neato. Not something we want, though, because pretty much nobody uses weapons in our posse. We have a Vibro Double Blade. Damage, weapon proficiency, melee weapons, 2 to 16 damage. Critical threat, 20 to 20 times 2. Ultrasonic vibrations make this double-bladed sword exceptionally deadly. Hirari Chani Cortosis Weave protects it against lightsaber sparring damage, ensuring its effectiveness even against Jedi and Sith. The double-bladed sword is capable of inflicting more damage, but is also less precise than the single-bladed variant. I believe we read that before, so I'll try not to repeat the items that we've already definitely had. But Cassus Fett's heavy pistol is so expensive, but it's so good. So good. I wish I could buy that for Karth, but it's half, like a third of our money. Feats required, weapon proficiency, blaster pistol, damage energy 4 to 11, 23 meter range, 20 to 20 times 2, critical chance, on hit, a 25% chance to stun, 6 seconds, DC of 10. Balanced weapon, attack modifier +3, and it's upgradable, ranged. Cassus Fett was rarely seen without his adaptable blaster, famous for killing the captain of a flagship Republic frigate at the Battle of Jaga's Cluster. He is presumed dead. We saw his armor on Dantooine, which was equally wonderful, but just can't afford it. There's the Bothan Shrieker. Feats required, weapon proficiency, blaster pistol, damage sonic 2 to 5, range 17 meters, critical threat is 20 to 20 times 2. On hit, attribute damage, dexterity, DC 14. It's balanced, it's attack modifier +1. This is an improvement over the standard sonic pistol design that must seem doubly shrill to the large ears of the Bothans. Bothans were the guys who stole the Death Star plans in Return of the Jedi. They were kind of like a dog people that were very into espionage and kind of covert tech. They were the spies of Star Wars. One of the races that kind of had a propensity towards spying. I believe we've read all of these before. Arcanian Sonic Rifle. I believe that's a new item that was added with my own mod that I added into the game that added some of the cut items back into the game that weren't placed anywhere. This is like a default item that was just never put in the game for whatever reason. Feats required: Weapon Proficiency Blaster Rifle, Sonic 3 to 8, damage 28 meters, critical threat 20 to 20 times 2, on hit attribute damage, dexterity DC of 14, attack modifier plus 2. The Arcanians pioneered many non-lethal weapons that could disorient opponents, but most were retrofitted to be superior damage dealers as well because the initial demand for them was so low. The Arcanians, kind of like a human offshoot. They lived on a icy planet, I think somewhere near the core, and they kind of had, I think, the Arcanians actually might have even been like a genetically modified race. I can't remember, but they were kind of a mad scientist type, almost like Kryptonians, I guess, from the Superman mythos. But white eyes, like no pupils, white hair, kind of tannish skin, from what I recall. I might be just thinking of one Jedi Master, but that's kind of in my mind as how it was. A heavy repeating blaster. I don't know if we've ever seen one of those before. Damage energy 1 to 10. Range is 28 meters, critical threat at 20 times 2, attack modifier plus 1. This weapon again increases the firepower available to the foot soldier or mercenary, but it is not for the lightly armored who wish to be quick on their feet. A medium repeating blaster. Weapon proficiency, heavy weapons, damage, energy 2 to 9. Range is 28 meters. That's almost as good as this. Slightly worse. Cost slightly less. Critical threat is 20 to 20 times 2. Attack modifier plus 1. Weapons such as this are not usually available for public purchase. They are best utilized during quick troop deployment and other situations where rapid suppressing fire is required. Blaster carbine, we've seen one of those before. Ion rifle and disruptor rifle. Sonic rifle, we've seen all that. Plasma grenades, I know we own each of these grenades, so I don't need to bring those up. And mines. Gas mines, plasma mines, frags and flash, concussion, adhesive, ion, sonic, poison, cryoban, plasma. Each of them do different damage types. There's nothing that's jumping out at me here except for Cassis Fett's heavy pistol, but it's just way too expensive for me to ever go in for. Do we have anything to sell? I think we did most of our selling on Yavin already, so probably not. I could get rid of Bastila's red crystal that's actually in her lightsaber right now, but I have no way of putting that in because I didn't want to do like a custom crystal just for a story bit. I could have made it so it actually went in the lightsaber, but it's easier to just not bother with that and use a standard red crystal as a replacement. Yeah, we've got a lot of grenades. I should think about getting rid of some of these, like these sonic grenades. I can do with fewer of those, and concussion grenades. I feel like I'll get to the end of the game and be running low on everything and then just regret not having them, so I guess I'll just keep them for now.